Thank you, Ms. Lean.
Thank you.
You raising your voice and speaking out is making huge changes throughout state government, and we really appreciate it. So on behalf of the committee, we appreciate you standing up and speaking out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pence, please join us at the testifier table.
Do I have to turn this on, or? Good.
It's already on. So please
Okay,
state
well-
your name for the record and then begin your testimony. And just as a reminder, the committee staff had recommended 2 minutes for testifiers, so try to keep it short. But we want to hear from you, so thank
Brevity
you.
is the soul of wit. So thank you, Madam Chair. When I was a young man.
I'm sorry, could you state your name?
Cainpence. When I was a younger, healthier man, I was actually a political theory major in Washington, D.C. And when I used to go for long walks, I'd go by the National Archive, and outside there it was written, "Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty." So thank you. This is what is needed. There needs to be people who are eternally vigilant, and I 100% agree with that last lady, what she said about the media. Channel 5 did a story on me, and after a year of trying to contact DHS and explain to them the massive fraud that is going on in ICS, the next day they happened to call me. I find that to be more than just a coincidence. I ended up by a strange series of events in ICS, and I'm just telling you right now, a couple years from now, you're going to be having a committee hearing for the same thing that happened with HSS, happened with autism, happened with Feeding Our Future. There are people who don't have housing, including myself, so they come into one of these ICS that gives them a rebate on housing and promises them service. So it's really a housing program masquerading as a service program. And what they do is they charge this unbelievable daily rate. I brought all the billing record if anybody wants to meet with me afterwards. $276 a day in my case, and they don't do jack. They do nothing. So they give you a rebate on the rent. In my case, it was an $1,800 apartment I was getting for $600, and within 5 days, they make up for it by charging for all these services that they don't give. And there's a lot of people in the program who need things who don't say anything because they're scared of the providers. They threaten you, they intimidate you, they tell you you're not gonna have housing. And well, I come from a group of men who fought for America. My father actually went to prison over Vietnam. My great-grandfather was a decorated Marine. My great-great-grandfather fought in World War I. And I said, you're not doing this to me. I'm not a wimp. And I fought back. Of course, I was called a racist, I was called a fascist, I was called all these names. Why? Because I wanted groceries, because I wanted my place cleaned. And how many times did I call DHS? They didn't do a damn thing. Nothing, until there was the news report. So I hear all this fancy stuff up here, and you guys don't do anything. How many times does somebody have to call them? 10, 15, 20? It's ridiculous. So my 2 minutes, I just want to say what Thomas Jefferson said. Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. Thank you for the committee, and I really hope something happens. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Pence. Next up, we have Josh Berg. Welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Josh Berg. I am grateful for the opportunity to be here today, not in spite of the difficult theme of this hearing, but because of it. The issues before us matter profoundly to the people that we serve, and I'm committed to helping build a system that earns their trust and meets their needs. The recent revelations of large-scale Medicaid fraud are deeply troubling. Medicaid fraud is theft. It steals from taxpayers, from vulnerable Minnesotans who rely on essential services, and from a system already under tremendous strain. As someone who works at one of the largest ICS organizations in the state, serving low-income Minnesotans with physical disabilities and brain injuries, I believe in the highest ethical and professional standards. I support rigorous enforcement of Medicaid laws and full prosecution of those who abuse the system for personal gain. We didn't arrive here overnight. These challenges are a product of decades of evolving programs, shifting priorities, and reactive decisions, not the actions of a single administration or legislature. Now is not the time for blame or partisan rhetoric. We all share responsibility for the system as it stands, and we share the duty to fix it. Too often, we are stuck in a reactive cycle, chasing the next scandal, trying to get ahead of the next feeding our future headline. In doing so, we risk losing sight of the why and the who. Behind every program, every policy, every audit, there is a person, a Minnesotan, a child with autism, a young adult with cerebral palsy, a parent recovering from brain injury. We need a plan, a coordinated, thoughtful plan that strengthens programs with integrity and clarity rather than shutting them down, provides clear, consistent definitions of fraud and waste without vague interpretations or moving targets, establishes continuity of care protocols when a fraudulent provider is shut down, so housing and services aren't abruptly lost. These are not theoretical concerns. They are happening now without a plan. This moment demands seriousness and accountability, but also nuance. Not everything reported is fraud. Not everything is waste. I can connect you with providers doing excellent work within the constraints of a complex, often contradictory system. Yet many live and work in fear. Fear that shifting definitions or one disgruntled staff or client could put them in the headlines, facing investigations or payment withholds without any due process. This must stop. Let's take a breath. Let's do this work humbly. And as a friend and one of my favorite senators often says, let's leave our egos at the door. Let's be bold. Let's be brave. This will be difficult work, but we are ready. Let's make this system worthy of the people it is built to serve. Thank you.